How's it going, everyone? It's Nick here with Mechanic Built, and before I start the video, well, in this video we are going to be talking about mid-size SUVs. You might be kind of saying where our channel might be heading if, you know, this is not much of a hint of itself, especially with Jared's Rav4 and my Outback, but again, if any of these vehicles seem interesting to you, definitely leave a comment below because we might just hit up a dealership and try to do a full-blown review. Thanks to you guys for supporting, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. How's it going, guys? It's Mechanic Built. I'm Nick.
I'm Jared.
And we're here at the Seattle Auto Show to go check out some mid-size SUVs.
And this is a prototype Rav4. Camera. Hello. So here we are with the prototype Rav4. So it's already getting some buzz. They are going to make the GR version of this one. So that's going to be your plug-in hybrid version of your new Rav4. Now we can't get on the inside, but we do have some perspective on the outside. So Nick's going to have to back up a little more. We can't be blocking the aisle. Yeah, but we're over here. So when you get a look, we got pictures of the video. You see the new design language, a little more boxy than it used to be. That seems to be the new trend. Plus, I like the new grille, kind of bringing in some more of that higher end Toyota, some of that Lexus stuff, tying it into the lower Toyota line. So we can see the whole new display. They're all gonna have that kind of square with the fog lights. There's your GR version. And we're coming down the side. It still screams RAV4. The front end, a little bit more of a redesign, but where I like it the most is probably in the rear. So we can see on the inside, it's gonna be kind of hard to look through, but we do have a full electronic display. Plus now we have a bigger screen for the entertainment system. So a little bigger than the rest of the RAV4s. And then we are to the back. Kind of seem proportionally different. A little more boxy, a little more square like we're talking about. I do like the light design. Brand new redesign of the lights. It kind of looks like the back of the FJ, but shrunken down. It's all a little more boxy. Kind of got the same printing in it. We're trying to bring in that design language. So all that new crazy stuff to do with the FJ, they're starting to spread it out to the whole line here. But overall, this is Jared from Mechanic Built. I'm excited for the new RAV4. I'm excited to do what we're gonna do to our midsize and full-size SUVs kind of stuff. So definitely check out the RAV4 and look out for more in the future.
So we're right over here with the 2026 Subaru Outback. This one, I believe, is a limited, but there's a couple things I want you guys to kind of come over here and see. If you look underneath the hood, it's still the same powertrain that's pretty much carried over from the previous Subarus. So you got the 2.5. If you get like the, you know, upgraded limited and the Outback Wilderness, you're looking at the 2.4 turbo. But essentially, it's just a body change, but the powertrain and the symmetrical drivetrain is pretty much all the same here. Okay, now it is a little bit controversial, so give me a second here. I'm going to close the hood and show you guys. This right here, this whole front end of the Subaru Outback has a lot of people kind of hit and miss. Reason for that being is right here on the bottom, right? People are talking about departure angles have been kind of extended. You know, Subaru, what I've been told, has raised the roofline about a couple inches. It's a little bit wider by like an inch or so, but a lot of people are feeling that this is kind of going away from that station wagon look. Kind of the market's kind of going this boxy style, but let me know in the comments what you guys think below about the new Outback design. Now, I just purchased an Outback for this channel, and Jared also has the Rav. But the redesign, I kind of like it, but for off-road purposes, that's where I start kind of having my differences. So let's go take a look inside and see what the big difference is. Now we have pretty much perforated seat material, so you could have cooling seats, heated seats, stuff like that. But the biggest thing for a lot of Outback owners, right, is bringing back the actual physical buttons right here. So right here, you can see we have the physical buttons. Now we also have a digital gauge cluster and an infotainment system. And then on top of that, even more buttons right down here. So everything's kind of been redesigned. And then you can see here, we still got the center console right here. And then pretty much you got your cigarette lighter. But, you know, for me at least, I'm kind of a little bit worried as a mechanic, because if this is right here and I spill my drink, well, guess what? I might be changing fuses here in the near future. Let us know in the comments what you guys think, right? It pretty much closed. You got pretty much the rear here that's also been redesigned. You can see Outback is nicely big and spelled out in the back, and they just got the Subaru logo. And then you got the Subaru name right here in the bumper. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comments, what you guys think of the Subaru Outback. Well, on to the next vehicle, right, Jared? The Bronco Sport hasn't really changed for 2025 or 2026, but you know, we're just gonna post it here onto this channel because it's got this little cool, you know, brush bar. These are coming out with a lot of accessories, especially out on the market, especially when it comes to these Bronco Sports. Still 3 cylinders, 1.5. I think you still got the option for the 4 cylinder. I'll put it the correction here on the screen. But this is the Bronco Sport. This is the Big Ben one, the 4x4 one. This ain't all-wheel drive, according to, you know, Ford. I still think it's all-wheel drive, but Ford is calling it 4x4. The next car I'm going to show you isn't quite an SUV, but it's pretty much based on the same platform, and that is the Ford Maverick. You've already probably seen him, which is the 2025 Ford Maverick, right? Now, the biggest thing, if you haven't known anything besides the redesign and the look, you know, which people hate or they love, now the 2.0 hybrid that's in here also comes as a all-wheel drive. So that's the biggest thing from the previous generation Mavericks to the ones now. And honestly, this is the one that I kind of wanted in the first place, but beggars cannot be choosers, I guess. So other than that, this here is the 2025, now 2026 Ford Maverick.
Well, now we find ourselves, I can't exactly describe this. I think it's called a Rogue. They're very mysterious. But no, here we have the Rogue Rock Creek. This is going to be more comparable maybe to the Rav4, seems a little smaller, but somewhere around the same size. So we get our still aggressive tires. You get your nice fans, fog lights. So this is another little mid-size SUV that you can be getting yourself into, something you want to just take off-road right away. So here we have our roof rack. So built in, seems pretty sturdy. Does kind of see the aftermarket, but it does seem very fitting. We got a nice big rails here. And you can see it's wrapped around the whole roof. We got our bars here, and then everyone seems to be doing this little bit here. So we can still get our good cell reception for our antenna, and we can also be able to stack as many things, all the overlandy tents and all the overlandy accessories. So now we are in the inside of the Rogue. Now compared to the Rav, it seems kind of very familiar actually. Everything still seems to be in the same spot. Said again, that shifter. I like the shifter. It's not a full ratcheting kind, but it's still a button kind. Still got your up and your down. You got the same modes here, but you get less on the Rogue than you do over there in the Pathfinder. And then we got a nice fence here, HVAC controls. You're gonna have a charger here. 2 Type-Cs going away from the USBs. That's pretty much the whole industry. Pretty much trying to fade away the USBs and go more Type-C kind of stuff. But overall, if you're looking at this between a Rav4, not a bad option. I'm obviously going to say Rav4 because that's what I got. But overall, that design language that you think of Nissan, it seems to be fading into something more of a quality product. Refined. A more refined product than the old interiors of Nissan's past. So go ahead and check out the Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
I got the 2025 Honda Passport Trailsport. So this came out earlier of 2025. As you guys can see here, right? From the Honda Performance Division, they have come up with this Trailsport. So pretty much underneath, you got essentially all your skid plating, and then right over here, a little homage to HPD is on the wheels. So you guys can see right there. You know, everything's kind of going that cladding, as you guys can see here. You got this cladding right here, cladding underneath. They've actually, not only that it's just a trim package, Honda actually came out and did the all-wheel drive system in order to make this thing really capable onto the trails. So essentially, you know, we're gonna go inside here. There's a little bit more bits, but really, in reality, if you want to know the difference, you got to really test drive a Trailsport in order compared to a regular Passport. If you don't know, it might just look like a exterior package to some, but in reality, Honda, what they essentially did was redesign the whole entire all-wheel drive system here in order for it to be more capable, especially onto the trails. So not only does it look more aggressive, it's actually way more capable than it should be. Now, on top of that, before we kind of go in, not only, again, is exterior, they did quite a bit on the interior to kind of make it unique. And again, you can see here you also have the Trailsport Blackout, the Elite, and then the Elite Blackout when it comes to the Passport lines. Still not a all-wheel drive hybrid, but you still get that reliable Honda V6 that everybody kind of knows of, and it's a lot more fuel efficient than the previous generation. So when we get a chance, we'll go ahead and get inside, and I'll show you guys the kind of differences between, or kind of show you what's kind of nice about the Passport. My first impressions, right? You got your Passport sign right over here. You got this, what do you call it? The little mountains design here.
Terrain features of the map. So
yeah, the terrain meter of the map, so you know you're going off-road, a little bit adventure. But then I kind of like this design. It kind of looks like it's supposed to emulate carbon, but it's not carbon. It's just a unique design to the plastic, which I think is honestly kind of nice. And then you got your drive mode switch here, and it's red. We got USB-C, the basic stuff. So like the Outback that I just reviewed earlier, I do like the placement here. This is like the normal placement you should put a cigarette lighter, not next to the cup holders. I'm sorry, that really kind of irked me. But then the typical stuff, right? Heated, ventilated seats, all that fun stuff. This is still like the typical Honda steering wheel. So if you're used to the Honda steering wheel, it's still, honestly, it feels like it hasn't changed in the last 20 years. But it's still got that nice leather wrapping, the buttons and whatnot. Digital LCD screen, like everything's going on. Nice size infotainment system. And you could see here, you got the 360, the rear camera. And I don't think we have a front camera. Let's go look in the front and see if there's a front camera, guys. Yes, there is that front camera with the little washer right there, so you could make sure that you could see where you're going on the trails or when you're going up a hill. But yeah, that's the Honda Trailsport.
Or you can see when you're about to hit the bush. All right, I noticed a little feature on here. I just want to jump in for a second. Tried it from the outside, it's pretty hard, but from the inside, it actually goes on pretty easily. That's a nice little feature, straight from the factory. You don't gotta get any tinting or nothing, and you already have a sunshade for your little ones in the back, and to keep all your camping supplies nice and cool.
Looking for new, I didn't even realize that Kia Sportage actually came with their own little off-road, rugged looking off-road package here. I know I'm saying off-road quite a bit, but kind of look at the wheels here. They're kind of interesting. They got this little cross design right over here. You got the more aggressive tread pattern, and yeah, it's a hit or miss. I just like it because it's unique, but I don't know if there's actually a purpose behind this other than that some engineer thought it was pretty cool. But if you guys are actually familiar with any Sportages, if you kind of look on the inside here, if you come in here, gone away is the piano black. They've kind of gone with that flat black because, it's supposed to be rugged. Look at this, and reminds you of the outdoors with the woods and everything and like that. Push to start, typical stuff. The center console is also not piano black. It's all this nice grainy material. So that way you know that this vehicle was meant for adventures. But again, let us know what you guys think. Or if you actually own a Kia Sportage X Prestige Pro. I might have gotten that wrong, but again, let's move on and check out what's more at the Seattle Auto Show.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to see everything at the Seattle International Auto Show, but we would like to say thank you to the Seattle International Auto Show for allowing us to film under media. And on top of that, again, my name's Nick, and you saw Jared right over there. And if you guys are into pretty much mid-size compact SUVs or just anything automotive or mechanic related, this is Mechanic Built, and I'll see you on the next one.